All right, Racing Xtravaganza, another interview. We're going to have Olivia Thayer here with us now. Beautiful race car. Now, full disclosure for anybody watching this might be, I don't think it'll be awkward, but we tried this earlier. The audio didn't work, so we're doing this again. So I'm going to try to ask the same things because it was really good. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Just getting to know you. But beautiful race car. Love the 39. Love the white base on this versus the black last year.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, when I first saw it last year, everybody, you probably heard this a million times.
Macri. Yep.
Because the front is similar.
Yep.
Was there any, when you built that race car and you got the 39, you put the font on, was that something you wanted it to be? Are you a Macri fan, or was that just?
I'm a huge Macri fan, but that wasn't what it was based off of. It was mainly, so red isn't usually my color. It's usually like the hot pink. I like to stand out, so when I'm out there, people are like, "That's her."
We know who that is.
Yeah.
And I think the white will do that. I love the design of it. It's symmetrical yet busy. Yet I think it works out, and you still see the number. I think that 39, it's a great number, but it can get lost sometimes depending on how the design goes. So it looks great. But let's talk about your 358 season. You got out at the end of the year a little bit, and came from 600.
Yep, 600
wingless. I learned.
Yep.
So 600 wingless. What was the decision that you wanted to go middle of the year? Well, maybe you didn't play in the middle of the year. I think, whatever. But what was that step like? Like, hey, we're just ready. I want to do more. How did that go?
I've always wanted to move up, and my dream has always been to run at Lincoln. Just a couple laps, you know.
Just a couple laps.
Yeah. Now it's full time. But at the end of the season, we were looking into buying a brand new hyper setup, and kind of compared the prices, and I talked with my dad, and we were like, we're just gonna get a 358.
So you got out the end of the year.
Yep.
Ready to go for 2025. Got some laps under your belt.
Yep.
Decided you liked it. Going to come back for a few more. What are your goals for the season?
I'm going to try to run for Rookie of the Year this year, so that's my big goal. And just seat time. I just want to get as much practice and try to get better every week, because you're never perfect. It's
some confidence. So how did you feel from race one to last race of the year? I would imagine, based on what I saw as a fan, you're probably pumped to get back behind the wheel.
Oh yeah, I'm super pumped.
A lot of progress.
Yeah.
So did it seem to slow down for you a little bit as the year went on?
A little bit.
In those few races?
Yeah, a little bit. It got a lot easier. I wouldn't say easy because the racing isn't easy, but I don't know, easier to kind of comprehend because it was a big jump from 600s to
for sure, and
sprints.
Very different cars, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the things very different. So wing speed is obviously huge. So as you get into the 358 racing, come from the 600s, you did that for how long were you in the 600?
I'd say about 4 years.
So 4 years, that's a lot of racing to get like, hey, what my car wants, what I like, what I got to do as a driver. Jump into a 358. How do you know what to do with the car? Who was helping you out?
I've got my crew chief and engine builder. They're great. They helped me out.
Did they come with big car experience?
Yeah, my crew chief actually drove 410s.
Who's your crew chief?
Jared Gooding.
Golding. Jared Golding. Got it.
I can never remember.
Sorry, Jared.
Name.
She doesn't know your name.
Sorry, Jared. I don't call you by your last name.
It's Jared. Got it. Jared.
Yeah. Dad calls him Jared Bear.
So he's worked on a full-size sprint car before and driven one. So there was some base of knowledge there.
Yeah.
So how did those first 7 races is certainly not enough to be like, hey, I got this figured out. But from where your first race went to the end, how did you kind of work through some of the things you need to learn and then what they need to learn for you? How did that kind of work, the communication?
Him driving them was a big help. Just him being able to watch me and critique my stuff, like my driving, my communication with him on how the car was handling. Like, he was just a big help in learning all of it.
It goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who's been there before and done that. So as we were standing here getting ready to chat with you, we had a guest walk by.
Yep.
Steve Wilbur. I tried to get him to interview you, but he said no. I thought it'd be entertaining. He's more fun. He's a lot more funny than I am.
He is pretty funny.
But what are you working out with Steve this year?
So he had actually, we ran into each other earlier when we were putting the car together in the off season, and he had asked me to run his car a couple times this year. So I will be doing that. I don't know what that will turn into, but we're just kind of going with the flow.
So what do you if you say, hey, oh, sure, what do you think going into that? Like, you're going to test it first.
Yep.
But is that full-size car wingless? You're used to the wingless stuff a little bit. But full-size car wingless, is that maybe like, hey, I feel natural in that? Is that something you would maybe steer the course and do wingless stuff? Or you're thinking, like, who knows?
I don't know. It's kind of my personal opinion with being a driver. I'll drive anything. I love anything, racing, anything. I'll drive it all.
So she's for hire. She'll just drive your car.
Yeah. You want me to drive your car? Let me know.
I mean, give Olivia a call. The improvement I saw in 7 races in a very competitive division says you can obviously handle it.
Yeah.
Probably my last question is this. What is the biggest lesson you learned in 7 races against a field of 358s that's very competitive? What is the biggest lesson so far?
Patience. Patience is big. Everything happens so quickly, and you just kind of gotta wait.
You crashed last year once, at least, right?
Actually, my last race.
You got caught up in one, or did you cause it? I don't remember. I think you got caught up in it, right?
Well, I got caught up in a couple throughout my 7 races I did last year, but
did any of them hurt?
Not really.
Not too bad yet.
No.
Well, that's good. Let's keep it that way.
My last one was my fault. I lifted on the top.
You never lift.
I know.
Keep it
As
left.
soon as I did it, I was like, oh my gosh.
You knew it. Oh, I knew it. You're like, oh, I knew this was going to happen.
And my crew chief was like,
but hey, 7 races in, sometimes you got to learn those lessons.
Yeah.
Never good to tear anything up, but prepared, cars here, ready to go for a full season this year. Obviously, rookie of the year at Lincoln, Williams Grove, dabbling in some other things maybe if it works out.
Yep, we're going to try the Grove sometimes. Not full schedule at the Grove, and Path Valley also has us a couple times I've heard this year.
Okay.
So
short track girl, I like it. Okay.
I like the shorter tracks.
And earlier we talked a little bit off camera and even on the one that didn't work. What I really liked that I heard, I'm glad I got to talk to you again actually, was you said you built this car, have it ready to go because you want it for the kids and other girls, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. You obviously lived coming up through in a very male-dominated sport.
Yep.
And Chris, obviously the third wheel of this, third wheel. Chris is our third wheel, not our first or second, but his daughter's here, and she's a fan of it. She loves going to the racetrack, and man, she looks up to the girls, even the girls up front doing the pageant. Yeah. It's an amazing thing, and keep doing that. Invite the kids in the pits.
Yeah.
They're going to be around you. Don't ever lose that. That's what I would say as a younger driver coming up, and not to say that these guys aren't, but don't lose that. Whenever you can have these kids around, keep doing that.
Yeah, I never really had that when I was younger, so I'd like to be someone that they can look up to, lean on, like if they need anything, especially the young girls, because it's hard being in a man's sport.
I'm sure.
Just being beat up,
Hey, listen, I can tell already you're not going to take any shit from any of them, so I love it. Looking forward to seeing you in 2025.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.